everyone. So out of respect for everyone's time, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. For those that don't know me, my name is Erica Bird, and I've been a member of SRAR for as long as I can remember. This is my 30th year in real estate, so I'm assuming almost 30 years. Today, welcome to my Canva training class. I'm sure some of you have probably been on this class a few times. We're going to talk about using some AI within Canva. I'm going to also show you Reels and show you how you can use the AI portion of RPR in order to create some social media. Yes, the recording will be available in the new SRAR, I believe, education lab, or probably on YouTube. But yes, this is being recorded so that you can go back and watch everything. I also have, I'm going to kind of wait till we're midway in. I have a workbook for everyone. It kind of goes over some of the basics of Canva. And there are some free templates that I include as well. So I have a larger screen over here, so you're going to be getting a side profile of me. But let me share my screen and we will go ahead and get started.
It's me making a
Okay. So hopefully most of you are already familiar with Canva. You have pretty much know the basics. I know that I've done a lot of different trainings on Canva, so you can definitely go back. I've even shared some of them with people who have reached out to me. So I know on the SRAR YouTube channel, there are some of the previous webinars that I've done. So if you're not 100% comfortable and familiar with Canva, then I would suggest going and watching that video as well. Technology changes. So it was a month or two ago when Michelle created the flyer and us talking about using ChatGPT. I am going to show you a little bit of ChatGPT and some of the things that I utilize it for when I am creating things here in Canva. But Canva then launched just recently Canva AI. So there was a time where some of us were able to use it and utilize it, and it was sort of on a beta mode. And now they have completely integrated Canva AI, which is very similar to ChatGPT. So I'm just going to show you some fun different things that you can do in utilizing Reels using the new Canva AI feature. First, let's go into RPR. Realtor Property Resource is actually created by NAR. It is on the main dashboard of your login for CRMLS. So rather than logging into CRMLS, you are going to go to the Realtor Property Resource tab. Okay, so within this tab, what you want to look for is marketing. And they as well have an AI feature built in. This is something that honestly, I think you're going to start seeing within probably any and all platforms that you begin using. There is going to be an AI feature. I love using RPR's AI feature because it does write the scripts for you. And I just think it's great and I use it a lot. However, RPR has really amped up everything that they've done in terms of social media and marketing for you. This is a great place to be able to get trends and any kind of market trends for any area that you work in. So I'm going to just pick an area. I'm actually going to pick, I chose, the one thing I would say is look at really kind of look at the market trends and see how you feel about it. I was looking at this and I didn't have time to dig in deeper. Santa Clarita is a little difficult because I think with just like with the MLS, we have our different areas. We don't have Santa Clarita as a whole like you maybe would with Reseda or Granada Hills or Thousand Oaks. It's very different. So I can already tell by these market trends. I know that we have more than 1.9 months of inventory in Santa Clarita. So I'm not sure. And this is Canyon Country when you open up the interactive map. So just know that if you're in one of those areas, kind of like we are in Santa Clarita, the market trends might not hit well. Okay, so I will actually type in Granada Hills, California. Okay, so now we have the market trend for Granada Hills. We're now going to come over here to the AI script writer. And from there, you can determine what it is that you want to do. I love that it has where you can select a tone. So if I always like to be a little bit more friendly, but if you want your post to be confident, encouraging, reassuring, if you're more direct and bold, I feel like you kind of have to choose the tone based on your personality. A lot of times I will do either professional or I will do friendly. When I have read through, and you can read through the prompts, but when I read through them, some of them don't sound like they don't sound like they would come from my voice. So definitely decide what kind of a voice you want to have when you are utilizing this. Conversational is good as well, because then at least you kind of have some CTAs, your call to actions that are included in that. There's a couple different things that you can do. So with the social media card, it will create a social media card for you. And you would fill in all of your information, upload everything, and then you can see here that it fills in a card. I like to click share with caption. And when I am looking for something to write, I let RPR generate the captions for me. So I don't worry about, that's why you saw I just kept clicking through. I don't worry about this graphic because most of the time I'm going to be going into Canva and I am going to be sharing, I'm going to be creating my own reel within Canva. Really, all that I want is I want to be able to view the captions and just see what RPR has written for me in terms of captions. So you can pick any of these captions. I am a Windows-based person. I'm a Google person. So I use something called Google Keep. Google Keep is both on my desktop and it's on my phone as well. And I can show you what Google Keep looks like. This is Google Keep. So you can see that I have a bunch of different things, but I do have where I have over here my Instagram. And so what I do is I just copy and paste my captions into here. And then from my phone, I am able to download from the Canva app, I'm able to download my piece of content and then I can copy and paste and do my uploads to Instagram. I have my Instagram and Facebook both set up together. They integrate now. So whenever I post something on Instagram, it automatically goes to my Facebook. And then I decide if I want to post it on TikTok. Okay, so going back to marketing, the other thing that this does, I'm typing way too fast. Granadios. Okay. The other thing is that it will create a video for you. So now you could do a social video and we're going to do the market snapshot. You want it vertical. You can choose your color palette, which is nice. And then I don't do music, and I'm going to show you how to sort of integrate this into Canva, and we are going to either add music or you can do a voiceover. So if, reels are just something where you don't want to be in front of the camera, but every once in a while, I think it's great to be able to do a voiceover. Then you can have it create the snapshot video for you, and it will also create, you can come over here to a video script and you're going to have it generate the content. Okay, so then now this has created a video script. This is telling you what kind of visuals to show, which you could follow this with the scenes if you want. But what I would do is just take the video. So here's the video that RPR has created, and I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you here in Canva. So I already had it create the video. And this is what the video looks like. So it gives you all of the stats. It already has all of the transitions put in, all of that. From there, you can decide. What's great too is that it has an intro and an outro, so you don't even have to create that. It has created this whole thing for you. And then once you have brought it into Canva, you can then add audio to it. Now you can record a voiceover, or it also has where you can use an AI voice. So they don't sound the greatest. I will be honest with that. They don't sound fantastic, but they do get by. They have a hard time. The AI voices have a hard time with talking, like sounding out some of the words. So especially with the areas, you would have to go back and listen to it and make sure that it pronounced everything properly. So they still have some work to do with that. You can also add music to it. So if you want to record a voiceover, this is where you would record the voiceover. You just simply hit beginning, start, and you can just start talking. Or you can add music, and it allows you to listen to the different sounds. I don't think you can hear any of the music, but then what you would do is you would simply slide it over, and we're going to move it over. And now you have sound, which is attached to your video. You can also kind of cut this short a little bit and move it over. And you can decide how long. This ends up being a 41-second clip that you end up doing. So that's a little bit on how you can use RPR to be able to get inspiration and utilizing the AI scriptwriter for how you want to write things. Another way that you can do a faceless reel is, so we want, let's see. This is my stuff. Okay, so we're going to go to social media, and I always choose TikTok video. It's always going to give you a blank canvas to start from, and there's always going to be where you can describe what kind of a design you want and hit generate. Now Canva has AI built into all of it. So I can say faceless real estate reel. and we can search it. And then you've got a bunch of different options to choose from. Usually I like things like this real, oh, that one has them kicking in the pool. What's nice is you can hover over them and you can watch them. There used to be a great one that had just was like a living room, and it had where you typed in some text and it was kind of perfect. So let's do this. Let's find one that, well, here, you know what? Let's do this one and I'll show you how we can modify it. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. So I'm just going to choose this particular design to move this far around. Oh, okay. All right. So with this, oh, did someone say something? Okay. So now with this particular design, let me make it larger here. Let's just delete some of these things here. I'm going to take this. Now, here's what's nice is when you see all of these different elements together, there's a way to move all of those elements out at once. This particular background of this kitchen it's literally embedded as the background of the video. So it's not going to move anywhere unless you were to detach it. So with these items, this allows me to hold down my left mouse button and I can drag a box over, and now it's going to select all of those elements. And that way I can move this up a little bit. I am going to delete a few more of these. I'm going to leave this, and let's take this table and chairs and get rid of that. Now I'm going to make this box kind of smaller. And I'm going to make this look like a search box. So I want a magnifying glass. So we have this little magnifying glass. We'll make this smaller. And then we can put market trends for the Hills, California. So then now what I'm going to do is I want to animate this text. So I'm going to come up here to the animate button, and it actually has, let's see if we can find it. I know that it has a typewriter. Okay, let's remove that animation. Let me go back here. Okay, they must have gotten rid of it because I don't see the type. Oh, here it is, typewriter. I am blind. Okay, so now we have the typewriter function. You can decide here how slow you want it to go, or if you want it to be faster. This ends up being a 5-second video. So we can have it where it types it a little bit faster. And then down here, you can even have where you still end up bringing in, I'm just going to go to my brand guides here. Okay, so you can still end up having where this is also branded to you, right? So I'm going to bring in my Equity Union logo, and you can animate all of these. So I can come over here and animate this, and I can decide how I want it to enter in. So the brush is kind of fun, and I want it to enter on enter because we're not really exiting into anything. And then again, I'll go over here and actually let's grab a frame. So I'm going to do a circle frame. This one's good. This has the color. I can come here to the color and it's already going to have my brand color palette. So I can choose the color that I could choose my company color. Oops. Okay. So we'll bring Mom and I in. And then we will go over here and animate this again. So we can decide how we want it to come in. And then now when we make this smaller so you can see the whole idea. I'm going to center this. So for those of you that are maybe newer to Canva, you can see that there are pink lines and or boxes that pop up. So once you have something, like I like having the Equity Union logo here. And then as far as our picture goes, as I'm moving it around, you can now see the pink dotted line. So now this is telling me that our photo is centered and balanced with the Equity Union logo. You can use your mouse to move it around. If you have something that you're trying to move around and it's almost too much using the mouse, you can use your arrow keys. So you can use the up and down arrow keys. The pink lines will still come up to show you. But when I've been manipulating certain things within Canva, sometimes I have had a hard time with the mouse. You can't quite get it just right, and you just need tiny little movements. So if you need tiny little movements with any kind of elements, use your arrow keys, and that is going to help you get everything centered perfectly. You can also make this a little bit more transparent if you want. So if you're having a hard time with your company logo or your picture, or you're just having a hard time with the main photo being a little too prominent and you want it to be a little less, that's where you can use this transparency. So you can move the slider up and down. So now you can see that it's kind of lightening it. It depends on what kind of colors are within the photos. This helps out tremendously, especially when I'm creating anything with my listing pictures, especially with the front of the house. And if it's during the day and you have all of that sunlight, and you have a lot of colors between the driveway and trees and the color of the house, a lot of times that's where this transparency is going to really help you and come into play so that you can have text over your photos. So you can mess with the transparency, and then here you have all of your animations. You can make the video longer if you need to. You can just keep dragging it out. So everything here you can drag to match. And you can also, that's what's so great about Canva, if you have a little bit more, if you're a little bit more advanced at editing and such, you can, if I move this down here and if I move this down here, and then we come back to the beginning, then now this text isn't typing, but you can have where your photo and everything else is towards the end, right? So if you want to sort of have an outro and you don't want it at the beginning, but you want something towards the end of the video, then that's where all of these different levels and lines are going to come into play. Also, if you ever need to find anything, or if you're having trouble with things overlapping, this is where your position comes into play. So when you first hit position, it's going to bring up this arrange box first. You want to go over to layers. With that, like when I initially chose the template and it had everything all clumped together, if I wouldn't have been able to necessarily get to that element or get to that piece, that's where this layers bar comes into play, because you can then pick, excuse me, you can then pick what element it is you need, and you can move that element or that piece around. Okay, now that we have quite a few people in here, let me add the workbook. Let's do that. So that way everyone can download the workbook. So within this notebook, you are going to get, there are some reels that have been previously created. So I have reels for you that are already in there, faceless reels that you can use. And then you can decide from there how you want to utilize them. And then I also have a newsletter template in there. I will show you how to be able to do newsletters. We will play around with reels. I'm going to show you how I utilize the reels too when I like to introduce my listings. Just kind of play around so that you get an idea of different things that you can do with the reels. The reason I want to do one showcasing a listing video is I will just show you how to be able to work with transitions and the animation, because you really can make some fun videos for social media. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I want to go to the questions here so that we kind of go step by step. RPR. Yes, what I did was I downloaded the RPR video and then I re-uploaded it into Canva. So I basically downloaded it. I opened up a social media video, a TikTok video, and you have the light. You can just simply drag the file over. Yes, you can replace any kind of a background image, and that's where, I think what I always look at social media, Google. I go to a lot of different places for my inspiration. I am not a marketing genius or anything like that. So I will admit that. So whenever I want to create something, or even if you're just scrolling social media, I can tell you on my Instagram and on TikTok, I save things. So I save reels that I've seen on both of those platforms. I save them to something called social media. And those are my inspiration for social media ideas. So then I decide from there, what kind of social media am I going to do? And a lot of times I will go back and I will look at all of those different things for inspiration. Okay, here is the workbook for everyone. Angela, yes, I can do one-on-one training. You can go ahead and email me and we can set something up. All right. Is everyone still seeing my Canva screen? I want to make sure that.
Yes, we could see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, so like as we were talking with we can keep using this reel, but you can delete this here. Another cool thing is I'm going to go to my uploads here. So here's a listing that we have. And the hardest thing, now this is something too to think about when you are when you meet your photographer at your listing. Here is something I figured out that I need to talk to him about. And that would be if he can take some photos to where I can use it for my social media and use it for reels. Because when you have just the square photos like this and you don't have the right orientation, it is hard to make this take up the whole image, right? So if I set this as a background, it doesn't show the entire house. However, now you can play around with this a little bit, and you can go to Magic Media and I think I did this in Magic Media. Yeah, so I went to edit. Okay, so this is what you do. Take the photo. You're going to go to edit the photo and you're going to go image to video. So then you can have Canva decide how it wants to turn the photo to video, or you can go to custom. You're only allowed with even with the pro account, you're only allowed so many images, and then it'll say you have to wait. So it took me a few hours to create the one reel that I did for this listing because we had a lot of photos for it that I wanted to showcase. But all you have to do is leave, and then I just kind of set a reminder on my phone, and an hour later I came back and I finished the video. So there is a limit to how many photos you can give a motion effect to. So like with this, I can tell it to just pan and generate a video. It takes a little bit. So then, so now I kind of don't like that. So maybe we could say zoom out and generate it, and we can have it zoom out. You can tell it what you want. And there have been times where I've had it generate its own and decide the smart way how it should animate the picture. And then there have been times where I've asked it to animate the picture a certain way. Let's see if this works with the zoom out, and then I will actually show you, and it's kind of cool because it like does it at just the right times where it then cut it off. But that's actually how the trees behind the house looks. Let me go over here and let me find my. So this is the
I have a quick question.
video.
Real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so on that last one, how did you pull up the photo? I just got a little lost. So you pulled up the photo, and did you put it as an Instagram post or a reel?
No, I was still I'm still within the reel. So it's
Perfect.
a TikTok reel. Yeah. And then, okay, so then this is the video that I created. And, because obviously, because of how the way the pictures are, I made this an actual video rather than a reel, and I still ended up putting it on social media.
How did you get the chairs in the dining room to move out like that?
That is that is taking the photo and then going to edit. And that is the smart way. Canva did it all on its own. So Canva pulled out the chairs.
Wow.
On this living room one right here, when I originally had it do it, it was so cute. It had a dog walk out from that kitchen area, and the dog jumped up on the back of the couch and was like all excited to see you walk in type of a thing. And I was like, well, they don't have a dog, and I don't want to turn off a buyer thinking there's dogs in the house. So then I had to tell Canva, and I think that's why, it was like, you've kind of reached your limit, because at first when I was playing around with this, I was like, I don't even know what this is. I mean, Canva just throws out all this new stuff, and I try to stay on top of it as best I can. So this particular listing, that's what I did. And actually, so then if you these were all photos, and I literally just would tell it to pan, yeah, and then you can
These
see
were
that it
all
turned on.
photos. You didn't do videos for this?
None of these were videos. These were all photos, and those are the prompts, and that's what I did. So I will go ahead. I will show you.
And
And
Can you
and the
go
chair
back
moving.
on this? The chairs. I want to see the chairs. These are all still photos.
these are all still photos, and these are all still photos. And these are all still photos. So I did the landscape because obviously I couldn't, I just did a landscape video because, the way my photos were, I couldn't do an Instagram type reel. And, excuse me, but that's why I said, here's a little perk, can your photographer take some photos? Even if you say, can I have 5 or 10 where you make them portrait mode so that I can utilize them for reels, it would make things so much easier. And I'm going to ask my photographer, the next time around if we could do that. So usually I always kind of like doing that element of surprise. So a lot of times I'll do countdown, and I'll come over here to video. Videos will do a countdown, right? So I'm just, for sake of time, I will go ahead and just pick whatever we can. So then now I'm going to add a blank. And let me come over here to my uploads.
The chair moving is creative and creepy.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. But then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, well,
That's cool too.
but then it kind of shows that the dining area is kind of wide enough, right? For opening for like pulling chairs out, where it's like, is the dining room small? I mean, it's all of these different things. Like you would have thought that I literally videoed and had someone open the garage doors.
I was going to ask about the garage doors. You didn't do that. That was Canva.
That was Canva. So here's my picture, and I'm going to set my image as a background. Okay, so here's my image. I'm going to go up here to edit, and I'm going to go to image to video. So now smart is that it's going to do it itself. So let's do smart, and let's see how Canva thinks this picture should be animated. And I think I ended up using smart for quite a few of them because I liked the way Canva did it. I didn't really feel like I had to give it any kind of insight. It was just on other things that I didn't like what Canva did. So then I just asked it to pan. And when I asked it to pan, then it just kind of moved everything around. So with this, it moves it down the street. But you can hit generate again, and it's going to give different options. And you can just keep telling it to generate.
Can you use images that you do portrait mode on your iPhone?
Yes, you could. Yeah. Yeah. So if you take pictures yourself with your cell phone, then yes, all day long you can use those in Reels. So then this one, it just kind of panned it. And see, that's where it's like a little different in the sense of, it's going to, it's going to determine how it wants to animate it, how I got it to here. Like we can do let's see if we do this entrance coming in. And now it's not going to do all the fun stuff that I was able to get it to do. But this is exactly, and and if you have ideas of, that's where you can, just tell it on its own what you want it to do.
Does Canva have tutorials on there?
They do. Yeah, you can, yes, they have their own tutorials, and they have all kinds of things. Canva even has its own, like if you want to decide, like if you're kind of creating your own brand a little bit outside of like your company, they have color charts where they give you the hex codes, and like you can pull up Canva color charts. You can Google that and it'll take you directly to the link, and Canva will actually you can see all different color elements, and it'll give you the hex codes. Sometimes I use that when I'm doing marketing for a particular listing. In terms of my company branding itself, I will utilize those colors, but then I try to bring in some of the richness of the colors of the actual listing, or colors that might be on the interior of the listing. And from there, I will, I'll use like those hex codes. So then it makes it easier to be able to come up with colors as well. Because like if you just use this color wheel, this color wheel is only going to give you so much. It will give you photo colors. So if you want to change colors of things, it will give you some of the colors that are within the photo. And you could always use this Droppler, and you can move over the Droppler and you can kind of pick out some colors if you want. It just depends on how far you want to go with, with colors and things like that.
Erica, can you do all this with the free version, or you need to pay the business, have a business account?
Yeah, well, not, you have to have the pro account. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of these things you have to have the pro account. I believe, especially with like the image to video, all of that, you have to have the pro account. But see, we could come over here to custom and we could do maybe walking up to home with garage doors opening. Let's see. But that is a fun little feature. So it is a great way to be able to, animate photos. So rather than doing a walkthrough video, I was able to put that entire video together in, a little over an hour. And okay, there you go. So it's showing, and again, you kind of want to see, because you can see here the way it's kind of showing as if the third car garage is separated off from the 2-car garage, and that's not the case. So you definitely want to be able to look at the video and make sure that it portrays the house, as it should be, right? I wouldn't put something like that on social media because it's not, just like I said, the one where originally the dog was jumping on the couch. They have 2 cats. They don't have dogs. So you'll want to pay attention to that. But like, when I did the jacuzzi, now I want everyone to see. So whenever I drag over a photo, I always right click and I tell it to attach it or set image as background, and it will set it as a background. It is better to do that. And then if you don't need it, you can detach it. It's better to do that than to try to, because see what happens when I try to make it bigger, it's now stretching out the image. So if you take your original image and set it as the background, it's not going to distort or change the size of it in any way. So then this one, image to video, we can use the smart one.
So Erica, everything we're doing today, you have to have the pro account?
Not all of it. You can create the reels and you can choose templates. Now, like I said, in that workbook, I gave you templates. None of those templates should require a pro account. And so see, then it made it as if the spa was bubbling. So no, you don't have to have a pro account. You'd have to have a pro account for the in order to animate the photo. But like you can, let me go back here. Sorry, I have to make this smaller sometimes because the little share screen up top. If you were picking out a template to use, if it has the crown, then that means it is a pro. But like you have this here where it isn't. You can also come here where we could say like a living room, layout and generate it. So then we could come here to videos. And then see, you have all kinds of videos where, like this one here is not a pro. So you can go under your elements and search, and then you just want to go to videos, and you can find all kinds of videos that are not a pro account. So if you want to try it out and see how much you use it, to me, I use this so much that it's worth the money and all of the pro features that we get. Before,
Erica,
yeah.
how much is the pro account versus like the free account? Because obviously the pro account gives us really nice options. What are we looking at?
I think the pro account is $150. I think it's $159 for the year, for the entire year. Okay. Okay.
I
Does
picked
anyone
up a pro, and it's $30 a month.
Okay.
to give
Yeah,
it
you
a
could.
Yeah, try it out.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do monthly or you could do yearly. All right. So does anyone have any other questions on Reels? I feel like these Canva classes can be hours long, but I want to be able to show you a little bit about newsletters as well. So does anyone have, you can either unmute yourself or I will check the chat. I know, Wendy, you almost don't need to pay for video tours anymore. That is very true. Because you can now animate photos. And, I've only played around with it a little bit, but all of these AI, so ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, all of these different platforms are just getting more and more sophisticated where you can type in the prompts and you can tell it to create it all into a video and it's done for you. I don't think Canva would ever go away because you want to be able to still edit things. And AI doesn't always get it 100% right. However, you can ask it to write code for you. There's just a lot of different things that you can do in creating media or videos for your listings. Let me go here to, we can use this as an example. The only other thing I wanted to show you is that you can add transitions and you can add animation to your videos. So as you can see, when I hover between these two pictures, you have a plus sign or you have, it's like a little arrow, honestly, and that's where you can add transitions. So that again just makes it seamless, right? So that's where you can, again, like even if you're, like sometimes with virtual tours, some photographers, the virtual tours are just the photos, but then it's just a matter of it looks polished and they have transitions. That's all that it's a matter of. As you choose these transitions, it shows you what the transition would look like.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Earlier you mentioned that there's a limit. Did you mean, I didn't understand. Did you mean there's a limit on videos that we could produce a day, or did you mean a limit on the pictures for the video?
No, there is a limit to how many pictures you can do that picture to animate tool. There's a limit of that. It will, after a while, because, you could see here, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 12 or 15 photos in here. And so I had almost gotten to the end and it was like, you've reached your limit, come back in an hour. It like gave me a time frame and told me when to come back. So that's what I did. I just went and worked on some other stuff. Then I went back in and I was able to finish animating the rest of these photos. So then you could see here with the transitions.
Can you have them do the transitions for you, or you have to do it?
Yeah, no, you have to add the transitions yourself. Yeah.
How long did this video take you to put together from beginning to end?
It doesn't take me very long. I think it took me like a little over an hour because I had to leave and then go back in. But I pretty much grab whatever photos I like from the photographer in order to put it together. And I add all of my photos in, and then just from there, I go in and add the transitions. And, the more you work on it and the more you play with it, and then that's why I always tell them, and I told Michelle and Carrie, go ahead and record it and put it up, because this is so much to absorb. But if you, really do follow sort of the step by step, and once you've done it once, then, the next time you just get faster and faster at doing it. I think I spend more time over analyzing, like wanting it to be perfect, or analyzing, the creativity side of it, instead of just like, okay, let me throw this together. And that's where, I've learned over time, where it's like, oh, I do a little countdown at the beginning, and then I have an outro at the end. So this is our outro. Now, what I've also done is, I know for the beginning, I just have to go into the elements and ask for a countdown, and I will change up the countdown. But then I also know that, my outro, I have just an outro. So then when I'm putting this together, I can go to templates here and, or I'm sorry, you don't want to go to templates. I could go to projects, and under my projects, I can type in outro. And then my video outros are going to come up, which I'm in Colorado full time. So this is my Compass Colorado one. But, so I have outros already recorded. That makes it faster as well. So, to have some of the things already done, but it just really doesn't take that long. If you wanted it to be quicker, so you could find a transition that you like. And, a lot of times, like, I kind of like the color wipe, and then you tell it which direction to come in from. And then, of course, it automatically picks the colors. But then I can tell it to apply this between all the scenes. And now that same transition is applied within every single one.
So how do you tell it to apply to all scenes?
Correct. Yeah. So see, I told it to apply it to all scenes, and now it's this same transition. But how did you do that?
I didn't see how you did that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so over here to the left, so see, transitions is color wipe. And then I can decide which direction I want it to come from. Okay. So that's kind of fun, coming in from an angle. And then all the way down here at the bottom, see, it says apply between all scenes. Yeah. So then that makes it even faster as well.
And how do you put music to it?
Music is just below. So whenever you're creating a video, so here, I can come here. So let me delete this one. Whenever you're creating a video, you're always going to have your sections of lines. I don't know how to talk from an editor standpoint, but you have your 3 sections of lines, right? So this first top line where you can see new and the 3, 2, 1, that's because this video is actually just the chalkboard. And then this top part is the text. And this is the text that is falling basically on top of the chalkboard. So like if I wanted, instead of new listing, I could put coming soon. You could change this to whatever you want. Then you actually have your video. Then down below your video, it's always going to say add audio. So I'm going to do add audio and music. From there, you can scroll down. These are what I've recently used. It has magic recommendations. Then it has popular music, happy pop. So then you can choose from there and you can listen to it prior to accepting it. So this House of Chill is kind of fun. And I'm just going to drag it over and bring it down. And then that's the music.
Can
You
you
can
also, sorry. Can you also write the song you want in the?
I'm sorry, say that again. Can you do what?
If you have a particular song you don't find there, can you write it and just?
You can. Yes, you can upload your own music. Yeah, so see here for uploads. So when you hit add audio and uploads, you can upload your own music.
Wait,
So
one
like
more
here,
time. Can you go back to the regular Canva
Yeah.
offered music and then show me where you go to upload? So you're here.
yes. Yeah, so you're here. So like when you hit the play button, listen to the music, see if it's something you like, and then you're just going to drag it over to that line.
But now, what if you have music on your laptop that you want to upload to it? Where do you? Oh, this upload button on the very left here.
Yeah, well, so add audio, and then it has uploads.
Oh, got you. That's where you got that.
Yeah, so then here you would upload whatever music file, and then your audio files are going to be here. Or yes, you can upload it, and you can upload it here. Canva's automatically going to know that it's an audio file. So then if you come over to audio, then you have your audio files here. So,
cool.
Yeah, so this particular one I was playing around. This particular one, I had taken basically what I wrote in the MLS and I had done it with the Canva AI. And it wasn't bad. It just sounded, she kind of didn't pronounce some of the words correctly. So, but you could record yourself. I think that's fun too.
How do you record yourself?
Before that, what if I don't have the music file? Can I ask Canva AI to just for the song? So
so that's why Canva has music already built in. So if you go to this music, then these are songs that you can use.
But only that. So I cannot describe on top of that screen that says describe your ideal element. I cannot write the song I want. And
yeah. No, I don't think you can. I've never tried to do that. You could try, but I don't think it's gotten that sophisticated yet, but you could try.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Erica, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
Once you created these videos on Canva, how do you upload them to Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram?
So I create them on my desktop because that's the easiest place to create them. And then I go to my phone in the Canva app and I download it on my phone and then I upload it everywhere. And that's why I showed I use Google Keep. A lot of people use their Notes app. If you have a Notes app, that's where I will also have ChatGPT help me with captions. Sometimes I've uploaded photos, some of the photos, and it's hey, write a caption for this house, write a social media caption and include a CTA. And now especially with ChatGPT, you could actually give it the address of the house and say, hey, I have a new listing at this address. Write a social media post and add a call to action, and it's going to write everything for you. And it ends up looking, it tells you, when you're typing in ChatGPT, it will literally tell you everything that it's looking at for that address. And it looks at Zillow and Realtor.com. It knows what platforms to look on and look at in order to gather the information, and then it will write it for you.
Thank you. And do you know if our service, SRAR, has anything with virtual staging, pictures, photos that is included with our membership?
No, but you know what? They have some fantastic affiliates that support SRAR, and I'm sure Michelle or Carrie could help set you up with some affiliates that do virtual staging. Or, you know, a lot of times you can check with your photographer. I know my photographer, he will do virtual staging of photos, and or use AI for photos. Just make sure that you know the new laws around that. If you virtually stage a photo, you have to have the old photo with the new photo. Or if you make any kind of changes or adjustments to those photos, you have to also have the other photo. And I would always, in the little remarks that you can do underneath the photos, I would obviously always disclose that that photo has been AI generated or virtually staged. So just make sure you know all the new rules and legalities around that.
Thank you. Yes, I'm using it, and I do label them, and I have the before and after picture, and but it's about $400 a year. So that's why
Yeah.
I was asking if there's something else that's comparable, unlimited. So for
Oh, you know
$400,
what?
unlimited pictures. Uh-huh.
You could, you know, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time and everyone that's on here. You know, you could probably use ChatGPT or Claude is great for writing code. I use ChatGPT all the time. I haven't really played around with Gemini. I don't know if there's some other people on here, but you probably could upload a photo. I don't have a photo of a vacant house to try it, but you probably could upload a photo to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to virtually stage the home. And it probably would do it. But I don't have a vacant house. I can't even think of one that I had. Otherwise, we would try it out. But you could try it on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT probably have to have the Plus account, which is like $20 a month. I'm not sure if ChatGPT would have a cutoff as to how many photos you could virtually stage, but it will do it. It will let you. I'm sure ChatGPT will do it because you can create any kind of an image. Okay. So then the last thing was getting to
Erica, before you move on, there was a question. Is it possible to do a voiceover over top the music? To have both?
That's a very good question. You know what? I think you can. Let's see here. So like if we choose this. And if we brought this down. Well, yeah, so you know what? This is how I would do it. So I would duplicate the track, and then I would, I'm not sure if you can do that. Because then if here, let's see. 3, 2, 1. Hi, hello, this is Erica. Oh yeah, you know what? You sure can. So, Yeah, so then it added, so then see, here's my voiceover right here. Oh. Yeah, so then it's, did you watch how I did that?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. So yes, you can do that where you can have both over it. Okay. So originally what I had done was I will show you. Originally what I had done was I went into ChatGPT and I told ChatGPT that I wanted to. So I told ChatGPT, write me a summer letter to send to clients. I want 3 sections. One will be a summer update. A second, a fun recipe. And third, events happening in July. A fun header. And I want a footer to add my business action. Write the code. Okay. So then I told ChatGPT to write the code for me. So it's doing this as an HTML. I checked with my company, we use KV Core. KV Core doesn't allow you to insert code when you're sending emails to your database. But I know that there are some CRMs that you can, create the email and it has the link where you can type in HTML. If that's the case, you can just copy and paste this HTML and it'll go right straight to your email and it'll make this beautiful email newsletter within your email. What I ended up doing was I've now copied this. I'm going to come over to Canva AI and I'm going to paste the code into Canva AI and hit the arrow. So now what it's doing is it's going to tell me, oh, I see you gave me code. So now I'm going to plan all of this out and I'm going to create it for you. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so something's wrong with Canva today, but this is the actual newsletter that it ended up creating for me. So it took that code and it, it won't show you. So it took the code. This is what I originally had typed in ChatGPT when I was testing everything out. This was the code that I had typed into Canva AI and it said, oh, hey, I can see that you gave me code for a newsletter. I'm going to create it for you. Now that it did that, I can go in and I can edit whatever I want. But now with Canva AI, because it's gotten so sophisticated, I can say, create a summer newsletter to send to real estate clients. I want a tip for the month, a fun recipe, and events happening. Santa Clarita, California for the month of July. Create a summer photo for the header. And you put it at the bottom. So my business. Check. So I did that. It's going to automatically bring it into a document. So it searches the web, just like ChatGPT does. And it's going to prepare the entire newsletter. And then it is going to also give me the websites that it used in order to find the July activities.
So you don't even need to do the ChatGPT.
No, you don't. So this goes to show you like how quickly Canva is on top of everything. Canva has every year, they call it Canva Create. So I get the email and they let me know when Canva Create is coming out. So I had watched Canva Create and I was like, oh, okay, this will, take some time, whatever. And this Canva AI, they rolled it out. And then next thing you know, it was like, everything, it's literally ChatGPT. I couldn't have done this like a month ago. I couldn't have told it to do this. I've even been on classes and the guy showed us how to do everything in ChatGPT and to write the code for it and then to bring it over to Canva as code. Now you don't have to do it. So now it has completed all of the tasks. And then if you look here, it tells me all of my sources. So with this, that's the perfect header. Then this just saves so much time, right? I mean, obviously you might not like everything about it, but here I can come in and now I can,
then you can personalize it.
Right. Yeah. So I can come over here, and I can add I wanted my white one. I can add my logo and it's very little, really, it's very little thought process to be able to have it create what I want it to create. So, it doesn't take much to be able to change the color of the font. And, and now I'm sitting here going, okay, well, this should be, and again, like I said, you can right click, I could take all of this, move it around here. I want to make it a little bit bigger because, I want to have it be aesthetically pleasing, right? So then this line, and I'll move it out a little bit more, my little watermelon mint cooler, right? So maybe I could do this over here and move it around. And then I come over here to elements and
grab a photo.
Yeah. And I can type in watermelon cocktail and I can either use a graphic or I could use a photo, right? So now that's very big, but here's my little watermelon cocktail. So I'll move this over here.
Yeah.
And I'll move all of this around. I can move my box around. I can make the font bigger. So now, here, this is, just a matter of minutes that I'm doing a little bit of changing up the content, but now here's an entire newsletter. So now I can download this as a PNG. I can upload it into my CRM system and I can get it sent out to all of my clients. So that is, that's like 2 seconds. You do have a newsletter. So I did create, I didn't create it. I'm giving this to you. I didn't create this, but here is a template for a newsletter. If you wanted to create something a little bit more sophisticated, doesn't have to be all 3 pages. You can change it up, but you could use ChatGPT for that if you wanted to like really think out a newsletter, whether it's, what's a tip for the month or, what should clients be doing, to prepare for the fall if you're getting, closer to the end of summer. But yeah, AI is really going to be a game changer for all of us, I believe, because there's a lot that, efficiency, and there's going to be a lot that you're not going to have to think about.
It's already a game changer.
Yeah, it really is. My daughter's a mechanical engineering student, and last year ChatGPT had just come out. So this a little over a year ago, and she was frustrated because she had to write code and certain lights had to light up and all of these different things. And I didn't really want her to know about AI. And so I said, here, give me the code, send it to me. So I told ChatGPT, here's the code I've written, but I need this light to light up and it's not lighting up and all of this, and plugged it in, and it found the exact line where the code was wrong, and it said what the code should be. And then I told her, I said, don't use this as a crutch. And she goes, no, but I didn't know what line it was. She goes, I know how to change the code. I just didn't know what line item it was. And ChatGPT gave her the line item, and then she was able to change that line, and then her light lit up. So now she's, building slot machines and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Question, just off of review.
Okay.
So back to where you did that little walkthrough video. Did you you went on to Canva, you did social media. Did you do that off of TikTok reel or TikTok video?
The one I did, no, I did video on that particular one. So I did video, and then I just did the landscape video, and it transferred over just fine when I uploaded it to Instagram and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that particular one, I did a landscape video, and and especially putting it on Facebook, and more than anything, because of me in Colorado, I do a lot of things where I put them, my mom's only on Facebook, so I put them on my mom's Facebook page, and then I tag me. But that's where I said, now I know I may need to ask my photographer to take more portrait pictures, which I would be able to do the same thing. You can still animate them, but I need them in portrait mode so that I can, for my personal, I can do reels and things like that. Here in Colorado, I'm able to grab all the pictures, but not being in California, I can't grab them myself.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Does anyone have any other questions or anything else that, you want me to show again or anything like that? I am going
to write anything when it says describe your ideal design. Did you have to write anything for them to open the garage or?
No, that's the thing is I did that so long ago. I think I had pretty much did. I know that I had said zoom or pan, I had told it what to do a couple times. At first I started with smart, and I'm well, let me see how Canva thinks that this should be, how this should become a video. And, that's the frustrating thing is the garage doors opening and sliding out the dining room chairs. Sometimes I can't get it to duplicate it again. So sometimes I used smart. If I didn't and that might have been where, to be honest with you, that's probably where I ended up tapped out, is because you can keep telling it to generate and it's going to animate it a different way. And I think that's where I got tapped out, because I used smart. If I didn't like the first one, I had it do it again, and I had it do it again. And then when I started to get tapped out, then that's where I went over to describing it, and I would tell it to just pan. And so then it would just kind of pan the room, and it made it look like a photographer was actually walking through the room. It's all coming back to me now. I am doing another training. I don't think we have a date on the books yet, but I am going to do another training on websites and how you can utilize Canva websites for other things, not just as a website, but things you can send to clients or create. So we'll be sure to get that on the book as well.
Can I ask you a question? This is David Khosravi. You mentioned that you need to get a portrait. Are you talking about, like, can you use your own cell phone, just take a regular picture and use that?
Yeah, you can. And, and that's where, like, with the edit and, honestly, with the edit feature and with a lot of the elements that Canva has, like you could do a background remover, or you can have it, fix the photo. Like, even if it's not that good of a photo, you can use ChatGPT and you can ask it to make it a clearer, nicer photo, but with our cell phones, I get some great photos with my cell phones, and it puts out perfect content just to be able to put up reels and do whatever it is that you're trying to do. So yeah, I would just, when you're out there with your photographer, capture some.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then, yeah, Angela, you could make the newsletter as long as you want. So, you can give AI as much information as possible. And, there's a lot of people now on social media where they're, that's all they talk about is AI. And it's really just based on how detailed of a prompt you give. So there's only so much time in these classes, but when I really sit down for a minute and I think through exactly everything that I want. Or if there have even been times where it's like, I want to recreate this, how can I do it? So, you can utilize AI however you want, but the more information you give it and the more detail you give it, it could make a 4-page newsletter if you wanted it to. So yes, it can make it longer. And like, you could say, give me, like, maybe you're only going to do a quarterly newsletter. So then you can say, give me events happening in this area for the month of July, August, and September. You can ask it to find, for all the different school districts, like, when is the first day of school? What are the calendars for these different school districts? And you could be creating things based on school districts and when the kids are going to go back to school, and things that you can mail out to a farm area. So, it's really just knowing what your audience is and what you want to give over to that audience. And then AI will absolutely create all of it for you. I've used AI. I've had AI. Adobe has a lot of different things. Usually I'll use Adobe, but like, I've taken a picture of myself and I've said, I don't know, like, if a lot of you follow me on social media, like, you can see the little cartoon sketch that it did about me. So it knew about me with the horses, it knew about me with the real estate. I'm not sure how it knows I love coffee, but it made me like this coffee queen. But like, you can upload a photo. I uploaded a photo and said, using this referenced image, create a photo of me holding a newspaper that says coming soon and my Compass logo, on the wall behind me. And it generated this whole image. So then I was able to use that on Instagram, and I promoted a listing here in Colorado that our team had as coming soon. So
amazing.
Sky's the limit with all of it. And again, it's just a matter of you being a little bit creative and very detailed in what it is you want it to do. It really is like having a virtual assistant, because as long as you have your thoughts in order and you know what you want, then that's all you have to do is tell it. And you can also say, I like all of these things. This is the only thing I want you to change, and it will come up with something else. So I could have probably told it, no, I don't want home cooling tips. Hey, what about this tip? And it'll create something else for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you so much for coming.